Welcome back to Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth. Last time we finished up You in Wonderland Floor 2 and unlocked the Velvet Room and did a few fusions. And now it's time to choose our party to head into the start of the third floor. Now I think I want to keep Mitsuru for this because there's a very, very dangerous enemy in this area that's weak to ice. And if you don't have ice attacks, because ice is its only weakness, then expect it to kind of destroy you. Obviously, you have to keep you. Now, there are some enemies in the area who are very weak against, who are weak to electric and wind, and they're also very, very dangerous. They're also weak to light and dark, though. So again, Hamo and Mudo users are useful. I think I'll keep Ken around for now because, yeah, he's lower level than Koromaru. I really only need just Hamo or Mudo, not both here. And, well, I was going to say I could go with the exact same party, but I guess it's lower level, so she's going to replace Shinjiro. I almost want to keep using Akihiko here just because I do need electric or wind attacks. I could also use Yukari, but I feel she's a bit redundant with Mitsuru, so maybe not for now. Or I could bring Zen and Rei back again. I do want to use those two for the boss. Anyway, I'm actually pretty under-leveled for this point in the game, I think. But I usually compensate for being under-leveled by my persona and equipment setups. I can handle this game while under-leveled reasonably well. I usually get through the game at a far lower level than most people do, but that's probably because I rotate out through party members. Many people who play this game just stick to one party and use it for the entire game, which is probably better overall, but I personally think it's more fun just to rotate out my party and try and use everyone where possible. Okay, yes, Mitsuru definitely needs better armor, so she'll get that. And I don't need that ruffled blouse anymore. As for everyone else, I guess I could upgrade Junpei's armor. I seem to remember that we'll actually be getting something better for Zen and Rei just in a chest soon, so I might as well ignore that for now. I could get some better weapons if I wanted to, but I do prefer to use skills over basic attacks most of the time. I guess Junpei and Shinjiro are the ones who probably need better physical weapons, but I think for now I'm kind of fine as things are. Oh, also though, need to restock this, because I used my only one last time. And how many? I only have one. I'll get one more. I like to have as many of these as I can. Even though I have Rakam now, if Gary Stu goes down, I don't have access to Rakam, so I like to save my revival beads for him. Alright, so that should be pretty good. Now, in terms of sub-personas, you're gonna stick with that. I definitely want to have, who has... Mokoi has... Who has Disarm still? Oh, and Pusa has Disarm. I guess I'll actually keep you on Ken. Actually, who's my fastest here? Iga should probably take Mokoi, even though she doesn't have that good of a chance of hitting the status ailments. Because it is the biggest HP increase. And then Akihiko will go ahead and take... I guess for now he'll just use Azumi. I noticed that On Muraki would learn Disarm eventually, but I already have that. I definitely want Disarm going into this floor, and I preferably want to get Scarecrow soon too. Anyway, as always before infiltrating the dungeon, I'm gonna go ahead and save. And let's move out to the last floor of You in Wonderland. Actually, that's a bit of a spoiler, but yeah, the first dungeon only has 3 floors. We're far from done, though. This floor is pretty big. In fact, because of that, it's map time. So, close your eyes now if you don't want to be spoiled on this floor's map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's safe to open your eyes now. And here we go. Yeah, everything's looking a lot darker. It looks like we're well and truly within the Queen of Hearts' court now. How fitting for the end of this place. Now, the beginning of this floor is actually a bit complicated. Well, I'm going to search the area too, but after this battle happens.
There are 3 shadows. Full power. I await your orders.
The same shadows we saw on the last floors, so this shouldn't be too bad.
Igus's damage is at a critical level. Damage at over 80%.
I like how Igus, for her quote for being on low HP, literally says the percentage of those quotes activate during.
That's the last of them.
Well, no one went down during that battle, but we came very close.
Every battle makes us stronger.
And that is one of the easier fights on this floor. That's not the fight I was dreading, but anyway, we have an event here.
My health has reached dangerously low levels. I require healing.
I'll get to that after this event. My health has reached dangerously low levels. Oh wait, there is a flower pot. So, we'll need to come back to this later. I kind of like marking this as a unique color of event there. Marking it in blue to know that we need to come back with water. Now, who had deer? You had deer. That's kind of a problem. Igus has very, very low SP. But at least you'll still have your buffer SP from your sub-persona. Now, up here doesn't lead anywhere. Just leads to a shortcut, and we can't do anything with this shortcut, and we won't be able to for a very long time.
Isn't that shining
Also
thing
a power
over
spot.
Power spot?
Duchess page. Yeah, you don't see the Duchess referenced in a lot of adaptations, unlike the Hatter, who's in pretty much everything. Okay, new shadow.
Unidentified. Switching to battle mode.
This thing! I hate the heat balance so much. This is why I wanted to bring someone who had Hammer or Muda, also though the Justice Sword's really annoying. But, yeah, I really hate this thing. Really hate this thing. And hopefully you won't get a chance to see why during this battle. But it is weak to Hammer and Muda. Like most balances, it uses two elements and is weak to the opposite two. So in this case it has fire and ice and is weak to electric and wind. But, oh, I really do not like this enemy at all. Because this enemy is proof that Atlas hates you. It's a first dungeon enemy and it has as you can see right there, Mind Charge. Yeah. For those who don't know how Mind Charge works, it multiplies the damage of your next magic attack by 2.5 times. And this thing has Mabufu. So if it uses a Mind Charge Mabufu, chances are you're going to take a ridiculous amount of damage. I got pretty unlucky there and had the enemy attack me instead of itself with Panic.
Leader's health is low. Someone please heal him. Our leader's health is in the red zone.
Okay, you still have Disarm. I guess I can go for that.
Persona!
Go! Here I go! Congratulea! That enemy's weakness is ice. What should I do next?
Leave it to me!
Here I go! Congratulea! Go down! We have the upper hand! Should we end it now? That was a great attack!
And I thought I'd be getting a persona out of that. You tend to get different personas as you go lower down in the floors. Oh, a good persona out of that too, nice. Ah, we basically just got back the slime that we fused away.
We won, but we can't relax yet.
My persona's definitely improving.
Get Sukukaja on you. Resist Ice is going to be pretty good for Akihiko once I learn that. We actually have access to quite a few elemental resist skills this early in the game. Yeah, I think I'll need to use some medicines for this. Then I'll need to rely on the heal stone in battle. We do get a few of those resist skills. The problem is, for some reason, they're very hard to transfer down in Fusion. I find that very few personas can actually pass them down. Now, we can see a shortcut icon here, but if we use the map to mark it out, yeah, that was thanks to my navigator skill, it's a red one-way arrow. This is different than what we're used to, and we'll see how this works right here. So this is one of those shortcuts. However, this time, Junpei should be careful not to press random buttons in dungeons. Because once we pass through this...
Everyone, look over here.
Huh?
Yep, nothing on the back of the wall.
Huh?
Yeah, looks like Junpei was not being careful, but he couldn't have known anyway. So... these are one-way shortcuts, and this floor's gonna really jam it into your head how they work. Also, this line's great.
Large amounts of fishiness.
So, like, for example, like, we can mark these out thanks to our navigator ability, but look at this. Just look at all this. Don't worry, the game doesn't get anywhere near this ridiculous with one-way shortcuts
The wall
later on.
ahead is projecting large amounts of fishiness.
But here, as you can see, this is the other side of that one-way shortcut from
There are
before.
3 shadows.
That enemy that I'm worried about hasn't actually shown up yet, so that makes me even more worried. But yeah, this is basically just your introduction to one-way passages. For your first experience with them, they just spam them all over the place. But the navigator skill, I believe it's Fairy's Vigil,
Strange feeling about that wall. Can you go check it out?
that points out shortcuts ahead of time, is actually pretty useful here, because if you place the icon on your map, you'll... I guess I can just go for trial and error just by spanning this everywhere and seeing where it sticks. But it'll tell you which direction the one-way shortcuts go in. And it's going to take a few passes through this area to be able to access everything. So let's go through here next.
I think that wall's hiding something. We should check it out.
Another one-way shortcut. Getting close to some more one-way
The
shortcuts.
wall ahead is projecting large amounts
That
of
one, I believe, leads
fishiness.
further into the floor, so I'll just head back to this one-way shortcut and go through that path first.
There are 3 shadows. It feels like we're fighting in Tartarus.
Well, that's pretty much the exact same thing. Yeah, here is a case of where's my hammer where you need it. All 3 of these things are weak to hammer. But I definitely want to prioritize the heat balance.
Come on! What the?
Now that's a non-mind charge Mabufu. That still hurts quite a bit, but once you see the mind charge version, yeah, you'll realize why I'm prioritizing killing these things quickly. This is around the first... Ow. Yep, that is why I brought those revival beads. This is around the first point in the game where I tend to get a game over. If it's not to the balancers, it's to the other thing here. Though I personally consider the balancers to be even worse than that thing.
Leader is unconscious. Can anyone revive him? Leader!
Okay, here's the thing. I could use Aigus's turn to use a revival bead. However, there's a very high chance that either Mitsuru or Ken's hammers are going to work on this thing, so the battle will probably be over anyway.
We won!
There we go. And Garisu was not around to see it, unfortunately. Well, or
How'd I
fortunately.
do?
Pretty well, actually. Okay, let's just use the revival bead. This is why I brought these.
Damn. My body can't keep up.
And Akihiko is pretty low. Yeah, putting Dia on, I guess, was probably not the best call. Because now she can't use that anymore. But I can always temporarily swap the sub-persona with Dia over to someone who has more SP if I need healing later. And yep, even more one-way shortcuts! Nope, actually this is a two-way shortcut. So, not even more one-way shortcuts, but we can't actually access it yet. And this is a one-way shortcut that leads back there. No real reason to head back into that area though, we've already fully explored it. We are slowly filling out this area, but like I said, don't worry about the sheer spammage of one-way shortcuts. Later dungeons don't do this at all. This is just a getting you used to the mechanic area.
There are 3 shadows.
Okay, that's a two-way
Switching
shortcut.
to battle mode.
Meanwhile, balance. Anyway, both of these things are strength-bound, so I hope this shows you just how useful binds are. Though you will always want to check the enemies to see if they have recovered from the bind status. Unlike with the other status ailments, there's no real visual indication of when an enemy's recovered from a bind, so you'll need to keep checking its status just to make sure.
Okay, let's keep this up.
I'm still kind of worried because if the thing that I'm worried about shows up, we're not really in a fit state to
Status
fight
report.
it.
My energy reserves are critically low.
So yeah, I guess it's on low SP. Unfortunately, the only direction we can go is back through that one-way shortcut.
There are 3 shadows.
This one. I'll turn it into sashimi.
I still love all of the unique comments people have on various types of shadows.
This is my power! What?
Well, that's not going to do you much good, seeing as you're strength-bound.
Are you alright?
I still love it when voice clips just end up ironic like that. This is my power. What? And yes, this thing is now recovered from strength bind, so like I said, always remember to check.
Take this.
I'm making pretty good use of the heal stone, and you just immediately reverse the stone effect by attacking me.
How'd I do?
But if you find a weak enemy that you can just use the healing stone on, that can be a good place to heal if you are low on
My energy
SP.
levels are low. In other words, I am tired.
The good news is there's no tired system in this game. Oh yeah, and you always are given a choice whether to pass through a one-way shortcut or not. But now, this is pretty much the end of the one-way shortcut maze.
About that wall. Let's look.
Except there are still one-way shortcuts here. Do not go through that one, because as you can see, all it leads to is some two-way shortcuts that we haven't opened yet. But we do have the 100% map chest here, and if we look at it, yeah, this is a pretty big map. We can already see some FOEs there. I personally don't use play coins on these because I feel like that's a bit, I don't know, like I wouldn't say cheap, but it kind of feels like it's ruining the fun of 100% completing the maps. Anyway, let's head on through. And this will actually get us something interesting. This might look like the same FOE we saw earlier. It's actually a different one, and it's even stronger than the earlier card soldier. This is the painting soldier. It has 3,500 HP if I remember right, which is a lot more than the boss of this dungeon. Some of the comments have actually said that FOEs in Etrian Odyssey usually are not stronger than the Stratum's boss. I guess they did that here just to really hammer in that you shouldn't be fighting them at this point. And yes, these things are painting the roses red. One part of the Alice in Wonderland book that actually does show up in most adaptations. So these FOEs have an interesting gimmick to them. There's a little bit more of a puzzle aspect.
Found it!
So Koromor has found a watering can for us. Now remember that event earlier on in this dungeon where we had a flower and we needed something to water it? This isn't just useful for getting past FOEs, it also helps us finish up that little kind of mini side quest. Technically speaking, there are no side quests at this point in the game.
Confirmed.
But this thing is kind of like one. But yeah, the way that this FOE moves, there's no way we can actually get through here without distracting it with the roses. I should mention it doesn't actually matter what color you paint shortcuts in, they always appear as green if they're two-way, red if they're one-way. And there is a second painting soldier here, who's just going about his business patrolling this area.
3 enemies. They're powerful.
Oh no.
Leader, I'm counting on you.
Okay, 2 heat balances and an enslaved beast. This could go very, very badly. But I do know that the Enslaved Beast is weak to fire as well as light. I think I want to get rid of the balancers first. Let's see, unless I can panic one of them. I guess it's probably way too slow to try and use panic on it, though. Maybe I should have given it to Akihiko. Mucker Jam would stop the beast from using Bestial War. I think I'll try that first. Because Ken's too busy using this to use Disarm on it.
I'm counting on your guess.
Actually, wait, no, doesn't the protagonist have panic? He probably should have used that, because he's pretty fast. Okay, hopefully I hit with Hammer. And Akihiko went down, so he can't use Magic Bind. Okay, that's good, but unfortunately this is the Hammer that I really need to hit because you're Mind Charged. If this misses...
I missed.
Okay. Twin Slash, not Bestial. Well, Igus is down.
Igus is unconscious.
Okay, didn't want to have to do this, but I'm gonna actually have to do this. Getting a bit more use of Sudokura Foot than I thought I would, but... Panic button. I do not want to get hit by Mind Charged Mabufu, so going all the way back here.
Are you alright?
And now that we're back here, we could water that plant, but there's a very high chance we'll get into a random encounter by then. Actually, though, I can show off for Calm. And... okay. I'm gonna go ahead and try and water this plant now, because the way this works is you have to water it, and then you have to go back to the base.
There were 3 enemies.
Well, I guess we get to get revenge on the Enslaved Beast now.
Monster in a shadow. That was an excellent attack.
Oh, c'est magnifique.
And there's Resist Fire, which is going to be great for Mitsuru. Not that a lot of enemies in this area actually use it. Resist Ice is much more useful for Akihiko, because there are enemies in this area that do
I
have
am
that.
about to run out of energy.
Yes, I will be
request
heading back
emergency
soon.
maintenance.
But first,
Now that I think about it,
since we have the watering can, we can water this. And then we have to come back here later. So now's probably as good a time as any to just head back for a quick heal, although I did want to just do that first FOE puzzle. I think I'll head back, quickly heal, then I'll just come back here and do that. So we're back here, let's go ahead and heal up and sell our items. We can get something new now. Wow, a lot of new things. Lots of weapons, the all-purpose apron, and an item that gives you resistance to sleep. But we can get a persona with that has null sleep at this point, so maybe not. But Igus has access to a new Igus armor, which is only going to raise it by 5. We can either do that or wait for later on and get the cook page. I think I'll wait for later on. Now we also have access to the all-purpose apron, which is actually pretty effective as far as armor goes, so... I think I'll at least get that for Yukari. At this point, the summoning costs from the compendium are really high compared to the general amount of money we're getting from dungeons. That will change eventually. For now, I tend not to rely on a lot of complex compendium setups. But let's just quickly check if we can actually make anything new at the Velvet Room. Doesn't look like it. Okay then.
I have discovered a suspicious area up ahead. Let us investigate.
So by leaving the dungeon and coming back,
Thank goodness.
this flower has grown a little bit. Now we can water it a bit more. And yeah, in order to do it again, we have to leave the dungeon again and come back, which is probably not worth using a Goho M on. I can probably just straight up walk out of this floor. I kind of want to just see if I can get an encounter, just in case it's the thing that I want to show. It's
There are
not.
3 shadows. discovered a suspicious area up ahead. Let us investigate.
And now we've come back a third time.
Huh?
Yep, we gotta keep doing this. This is, like I said, the closest thing we have to a side quest at this point in the game. We'll get real side quests later on. But, you know what that means. We have to leave again. I'm pretty sure this is the last time, though. And we just get another Sandman.
That was an excellent attack. I'll be counting on you.
Wonder if that'll let us make some new things in the Velvet Room.
Well, that area looks suspicious. Maybe we should try looking around it. Whoa!
And finally, it's a flower.
What? Oh.
Hey, man.
Well, at least we can take this, and it's actually an accessory.
Huh?
So yeah, we now have that. That's why I was saying you might not want to buy one of those from Theodore, because we'll be getting one of them. So, who needs that? I kind of like giving this to the main character, honestly. Just to give them more of a pool of SP. It won't take effect until we leave the dungeon, though, because of, yeah, that. I guess Akihiko can take this. Though he's using more magic now. Maybe Igus could take it. Anyway, we'll be switching up our party soon, regardless. But yeah, our reward for all that back and forth is an item that boosts SP, which is still pretty useful early on, so I'm glad that I did that. But it is annoying having to go in and out of the dungeon that many times.
This is my job.
I messed up.
Oh no.
What? What?
Really?
Prepare yourself. The enemy.
Finally! The adventure of the Hummer dodging balance. Oh wow, Fuka's level's actually taken over Gary Sue's, probably because he went down in that one battle. We'll have plenty of opportunities to rectify that later, though. Yeah, this way. This way, and then we'll be back at the Rose Painters. In fact, I should probably try and mark in their paths a little bit while I'm here. Ah, here it is! This was that thing that I was worried about before. This is our introduction to Giant Shadows. The later floors of every dungeon will have a Giant Shadow. The Giant Shadow can act twice in one turn. The Burning Beetle is also resistant to Hummer and Mudor, which makes it incredibly dangerous for this point in the game. It's also very, very strong. Its only weakness is Ice. However, hitting it with Disarm or Panic, both of them are incredibly good. Also, Taru Unda is also going to be great here. It hits hard and it moves twice per turn, as you can see, so debuffing its attack and inflicting it with status ailments, definitely the way to go. Now getting both of these is, well, I didn't get both of them. It also tends to recover from status ailments pretty quickly, so that's kind of a thing, probably because it has so much HP. The fight usually goes on long enough for it to eventually recover from those ailments, and that was pointless, but I did that in case my first Pulimpa missed.
That enemy's weakness is ice.
As you can see, that weakness hit barely made a dent at all. So, yeah, Poison is also somewhat effective, but I kind of prefer to keep it panicked. For obvious reasons. Now, Hummer and Mudor can still work, but it is resistant to them, so they're not completely reliable. Well, definitely not reliable at all. Even with an attack debuff, it still did 51 damage to itself.
This is my power.
Well, it's down, but that's not really going to mean much because it will get back up at the end of the turn. And I was going to hit with all my attacks anyway because it's panicked. I love this thing's getting back up animation. I love how it just flips the crown back onto its head. That's just always made me laugh. And you need all the levity you can get against enemies like this, because, I got lucky with Panic early on, but if you don't, this thing can very easily destroy you. Most people online have serious... Like, I've seen so many game FAQs topics about this enemy in particular. If you've got status ailment, it's not that bad, and binds too. I would highly recommend Panic and Strength Bind. Panic is not worn off, that's kind of surprising, but as you can see, this thing has a lot of health.
Time to make my move.
But it's probably going to go down soon. This type of enemy has come a long way since the original Persona 3, where it was just a fairly standard shadow, and was quite small too. There we go, gone. Beetle Slaying Strike.
That was an excellent attack.
Your persona's gotten strong.
And Scarecrow. Scarecrow's kind of good against it, because it will drastically lower its physical accuracy, but I kind of prefer Strength Bind, or Panic. But if you have no other options, Agility Bind's also good against it.
Don't push yourself so hard, Cancun. I can see you're in a lot of pain.
Really? Oh yeah, he's kind of down. But for now, I just want to see if I can get one of these rose puzzles done.
That's an FOE over there.
And you come all the way up here. These things here are the roses. On my map, I like to mark them as diamonds. But everyone probably has their own ways of marking them. Now this one right here, as you can see, there's a treasure chest, but in order to get to it, I'm gonna need to distract you by unpainting these roses. So now that the roses are white, put that there. This FOE will be stuck here repainting them, so I can safely grab this chest. Another wealth piece. But yeah, as you can see, that shadow's totally stuck. Also, yeah, I like drawing the walls there. This is only the first Rose FOE puzzle, so it's very, very simple. There are going to be some more complicated ones later on this floor.
3 enemies are attacking.
More new enemies.
We let our guard down, is it?
Oh, wow, that hurts. That attack would have inflicted, I believe, Agility Bind if it hadn't just straight up one-shotted Akihiko. The Agitating Hublary. Let's quickly check. I didn't expect to see you so soon. So, you are weak to wind and light. Okay, then. And there's another enemy that's weak to light. Do I stay here, or do I just try and get the heck out? I'm gonna just try and run for now, I think. Nope, it's Magic Bind. Ow, okay.
Retreating.
Okay, as long as Gary Stu stays alive, I can do this. Once again, being forced to use my panic button. I was hoping that I'd get past those FOEs on this run, but I didn't expect the Agitating Hublary to show up, and I didn't expect Akihiko to take that much damage from it. Okay, I actually think at this point, even though... I mean, you know how those puzzles work now, so next time I can come back, get past that first one, and head further on into the labyrinth. So, I will just use a Go-Ho-M to return to the base, and I will see you again next time.